Hey you, it's Jess here and so nice to see you. Today we are planning the last week of March in my 2026 OkPlans inserts, and this is March 23rd through the 29th, and I'm using the Scribble Prints Co kit, Spring Folk. Heidi is just about to eat some biscuits, so I apologize if you can hear her crunching. She's literally right next to me, but if she needs a snack, she needs a snack, and I need to film. But this was my sort of spring Easter art that I did for this year. I have other things I need to use for Easter week because it's my partner's birthday. So yeah, so I'm going to use it now for more of a spring kit at the sort of end of March. It still gives me those like green vibes, which I haven't had too much of in March, so needed to bring that in. Love the way this art turned out in the kit. I have paired this with a rose gold foil bundle. This is a proper coppery rose gold, and I think it turned out really pretty. I do like the slightly warmer feel to it that it brought, rather than using like gold or matte bronze. I don't have a lot of matte bronze left, so I went with rose gold. And yeah, I'm really happy with how the base turned out. Just super duper fun. I was just really proud of this art, and I'm so excited to use it, and I think it's gonna be really fun. But yeah, otherwise it's just my usual color blocking spread, which I just like to do that. And I always like to have a connected 2 boxes for my plans, even though I still put the third glitter header in there, because I still like to kind of separate them, but I feel like I like having the one like go of the plans. It just makes sense to me in my brain, so that's why I do that kind of spread. But let's finish up the base here you've seen a billion times, and let's get into actually planning day by day. Alright, so let's get started on Monday, and as always we're putting Coffee Monday at the top. Heidi is still eating biscuits, so I apologize for that, but when you're hungry, you're hungry. Alright, so first thing I'm going to put in here is that I went and I need to do some errands. I had to mail some things out. So I went and mailed out some stuff, and then I did some filming. So rare for me at this point in the year. It's been hard to get back into proper filming, like just finding time, but also just getting into my work schedule to actually film so I can have enough videos during the week. But yeah, I did some filming this morning. Film and doing my errands. And then I did have a video go up. I think what I filmed went up, which was my April journal. My April reading journal. Well, I just call it my journal now because, it is just my journal in the end. So I did do some work. But I think I'm going to use, I didn't give myself much space here to put work and stuff in. So I'm going to put work in this. And then I think I'm going to use 2 chubby labels here for work, and then my audiobook, and then my ebook that I was reading at night, which was House of Open Wounds. I talked about it in my last Plan With Me, the last March one. I'll check that out, but it is a fantasy book by Adrian Tchaikovsky, and it's the second book in the series, and it was a 5-star. The first book was a 5-star, the second book is a 5-star, and honestly the novella before the third book has also been a 5-star. You'll see that at the end of the week actually. I actually read the novella first before I read the first book of the series, because you don't need to read them really in order if you can't. But I did want to reread it because now I've finished book 2 and this is book 2.5. So yeah, I decided to reread it and still loved it. And it read completely differently after I knew all the context of the first 2 books, which is pretty good. So yeah, I had April journal go up. I did work. I listened to my audiobook Queen Demon by Martha Wells and read House of Open Wounds. Man, it's too easy just to continue on. When I have 2 E's, I'm just like, E. I just could write E forever, Anyway, so I didn't have space to put here, or maybe I didn't play this day anyway, but started my day off with Pocopia. And then I did some more working on my shop set. So work, I'm going to use my favorite paper, one of my favorite papers from this set. I also do love the goose one, but I also really love this paper and how it came out. So you have a little switch for the Pocopia, and I'm going to use these, as you saw on Monday, I'm going to use these spring flowers from What's More With Love to mark work. Sometimes I like to use a little sort of themed sticker for that. Green Demon. And then I did some more journaling. I put this down here at the bottom for my book. For journaling, I might use this rounded one. And then we have two little things I need to put in. So we got journaling and then watching the anime One Piece. And we also got Krung Tep, which is a Thai restaurant for delivery. And it's very, very tasty. So that's the one big thing. Like in Helsinki, there's just a ton of Thai restaurants. Whereas compared to in Adelaide, I feel like there's way more Vietnamese restaurants than there were Thai restaurants. I think my friend said, one of my PhD friends said, who was from New South Wales, she was like, I think Thai food is better in Sydney, but Vietnamese food is better in Adelaide. I don't know. I guess it depends on who's moved where, you know. But yeah, there's a way more, although there's some very good Vietnamese restaurants here. But, well, at least we have a lot of options. It's hard to find a bad one, to be honest. Yeah. Come from Australia, I love Asian food, especially Southeast Asian and South Asian food. Just, you know, it's the region, so I love it. All right, so then Wednesday, we got another Pocopia. I just picked up all the chubby little things. Pocopia, and then we have more work. And then we have a little trouble thing with reading Queen Demon. But Wednesday, I finished it. So, finished up Queen Demon. It was alright. I think I preferred Witch King. But I still enjoyed Queen Demon. Queen Demon's a sequel to Witch King. If you weren't watching previous Plan With Me's. I did not write that correctly, so I just put BK for book. Finished book. I usually do that on 2 lines, but you know. Alright, so I do, well, this is the goose paper, which is very cute. So I do want to put this down below for my books. And then we also need to put in some little things here. Let me put this in. So I'm looking, okay, so the end of last week we were watching Interview with the Vampire. And we're not here, so I think we finished that show, like both seasons, in 1 week. So, yeah. So I'm filming this on 2nd of June, and the 3rd season's coming out on the 7th, so the end of this week. Very, very excited. The 3rd season's actually called, they've changed the name of the show because it's about the books. So the show is now going to be called, like the 3rd season is called The Vampire Lestat. So it's technically a new show, but it is the 3rd season of The Interview with the Vampire. It's just that now we're doing the book, The Vampire Lestat. And I kind of love that whole thing. So suppose if they do the next book, they get, you know, they get that far, if they don't get cancelled, the next season would, I don't know if it's going to be 2 seasons or not, but the next book is Queen of the Damned, I think. So that would be the next, like, show name. But yeah, very, very excited. But yeah, I can't believe we watched both seasons in like a 1 week. We kind of like binged the heck out of that. But we should really rewatch the seasons before we start Vampire Lestat. But we'll see. We'll see if we have time. So anyway, yeah, One Piece. I was watching One Piece anime. I just noticed I haven't been putting any more Interview with the Vampire because I guess we finished it. So One Piece, we had pizza, played Nikki, and then read my book. So that is the first half of the week all finished, and yeah, as I thought, it's coming out even better because all the stickers are filling it in, and I just love the color block. It just makes me so happy, and I do enjoy the rose gold in here. So yeah, I'm loving the way it's coming out. So exciting. So Thursday, I have Pocopia, and then I also did listings. kind of want to use a bit of box. So I did release my space set this week. It was my project Space Art, which is kind of all culminating between Project Hail Mary movie coming out, but also was watching For All Mankind, and that new season of that was coming out. And then you had the Artemis launch, so it all kind of came together at the same time, the space theme. So I was very happy with that. Although for me, it started with For All Mankind. So yeah, so PaperKay did the listings and then released the space art. And then let's put a box down the bottom for reading. I actually finished House of Open Wounds this night, 5 stars. It's all coming together for me. I'm loving this series so much. I do have the 3rd book in my collection, and then the 4th book recently came out, so which I don't own yet, but I'm going to use a fancy label here because I need space for these two little doodles, which I'm not getting. Oh my gosh. So let's use a chubby little thing. I'm not doing well here. All right. Chubby little thing, and then I should probably put the patterned little thing in the middle. So let's put this one here and then put the pattern one here. All right. Now we're cooking. All right, so while I was working, I was watching Rochella stream. Rochella was also playing PaperKay at the time, so I was watching that. Then I played Nikki, we watched more One Piece anime, and then I finished my book. Alright, so Friday, we had our morning PaperKay. I have a lot more space. So PaperKay, I think because I finished that set, so I'm like, I'm going to relax. I do that. When I finish a set, I give myself the next day to sort of chill out and give myself, if it happens on Thursday, then I get a long weekend, which is nice. Because I feel like I'm very deep overall into like an overall burnout. So I just have to be careful in getting that. I still have to work. I cannot not work. So I have to stretch out my work so the burnout isn't so crazy. So PaperKay did laundry and also did some cleaning. And then it was, see, apparently it was Infinity Nikki update this day, but I really don't think it was. I don't know, because anyway, I played Infinity Nikki. Also watched a new episode of The Pit and watched some more One Piece anime. And then I went straight into the 2.5 novella for the Tyrant Philosophers, which is what House of Open Wounds is the 2nd book of, called Lives of Bitter Rain. And actually this was a book that I got in as an ARC. I think it was last year. It was my first ARC, and it was very exciting, and I really, really enjoyed it. So, and I still have the book as an ebook from the ARC, so I'm like, I'll just go straight into reading that again. And what I really liked about this novella is it's a character is supposed to be a character, like a bigger character in book 3. So we wanted to do like a little background on them, and then it turned into a novella. But it's an interesting one because in the previous 2 books, most of the POVs are mostly from people who are not in the Palestine Empire. They're not like part of the occupying force. So in this one, you are one of the Palestine officers, and like how she gets from the start and into where she will be into book 3, which I haven't read yet. So yeah, so it's interesting to see the other side of it, of the character point of views. So loved it. It took me 3 nights. I think the first time I read it only took me 2 nights, but I was kind of taking my time and enjoying it, you know. So I had PaperKay. What's happening here? I'm just using all the wrong icons for stuff. It's a Saturday. I've got a thing for... okay. Excuse me. Everything's gone weird. So we have Pocopia. Happened last week. I picked up the wrong little thing, like icon. But this time I'm gonna not just keep it because I actually do have the stickers next to me. But so I put in here that I had Pocopia. Put that in there. And then I had laundry, and then it's supposed to be one piece, but for some reason I've got the laundry little thing icon here, like the laundry basket for one piece. I'm like, no, that's not what we're using here. So I'm just going to use the music icon because why not? Luckily I still have that next to me because that was the wrong icon. You know, it's been a long day. It's been a long day. But it was last week last week it was actually, I was supposed to do a laundry icon, but I did a play button instead. So I don't know what it was about laundry, but it was messing me up. How odd. Anyway. So one piece, and then, oh yes, this was the day that, let me put the book down, that we made a, I don't know, I just feel like I kept seeing it in things, mostly Bob's Burgers, but we made a Dutch baby. Also because we got those new La Creuset baking, like baking, it's not a tin, a baking container thing, pot thing. Anyway, so like, let's make a Dutch baby in this. I've never had a Dutch baby. And it's basically like a baked crepe because it has like the same kind of texture as a big crepe or a Yorkshire pudding, but it's sweet. So I made a Dutch baby for the first time and it was really, really yummy. I actually really enjoyed it. And then I played Nikki and then was reading Lives a Bit of Rain. The recipe I had for Dutch baby, it was, it had a little bit of lemon zest in it, which is really nice. And then we put on top just whipped cream and we put... we just quickly like cooked up, kind of stewed some frozen mixed berries. So I think it was raspberries, blueberries, and I can't remember the other berry, a strawberry or something. Yeah, it was really delicious. Loved that. So then on Sunday it was daylight savings time, and then I played some more Pocopia. And then we did meal prep because we didn't do it on Saturday. We just went filling up for on Saturday, so meal prep on Sunday it was. So put the daylight savings, Pocopia, and then meal prep. Super easy. I think this meal prep time was when we were really into making bibimbaps. Yeah, we're kind of obsessed with bibimbap at this point. So that was on my main meal prep at the time. We had that for a few weeks. So meal prepped and then watching One Piece, and then because we were tired from like meal prepping lunches, and because we didn't do it on Saturday, we didn't have a meal prepped lunch for Sunday, so we got Subway for lunch. And I feel like Subway here in Finland and in Australia is very different. It's pretty fresh overall. Then played Nikki, and then I finished Lives of Bitter Rain, the novella, which I loved. Loved all over again. So that is the finished last half of the week. And yeah, I'm really happy how that looks all laid out. So let's get into the planner and finish up. Alright, that is the finished spread in the planner. I am loving this. It's so pretty. I'm so happy with how all the patterns and the colors turned out, and I do like that warmer touch of the rose gold. I feel like also this would look good with like pink or even periwinkle foil, but yeah, I'm glad I chose the rose gold, something different in my collection and in my spreads. So yeah, I love the way they came out, and yeah, I'm really happy with this week, and I'm so happy I have finished March. We are getting there. We're getting on to April next, so keep an eye out for April kits and then April spreads. But I hope you liked and enjoyed this. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you did, and subscribe if you haven't already. I would love for you to join me with all my planning and journaling stuff. I'm getting back in the swing of filming, so yeah, I think it's doing well. But let me know down in the comment below if you enjoyed this. Maybe leave just some spring flowers like tulips. I think tulips would be the best, but tulips and any other flowers you feel like leaving as emojis in the comments below to let me know that you've enjoyed this. Also, let me know if you've made and enjoyed a Dutch baby, or if you just had a Dutch baby like at a restaurant or something. Let me know. It was new for me and I really enjoyed it, like a sweet Yorkshire pudding with a crepe, and it was very delicious. So I do recommend trying it. It's super easy, and honestly super easier than doing pancakes. But otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. I love you. Bye-bye.